Hello, hello, Foxfires! Welcome in. Hello, Yuzuki. Hello, Septim. Hello, Blaze. Hello, Rox. Hello, Fox. Hello, Marina. Hello, Name. Hello, Gigi. Hello, Serene. Hello, Puffin. Welcome to Art! Hello, hello. Welcome. Stuck in Ad City. Yep, don't worry. They're gonna be done in 8 seconds, apparently. You might already be back, because sometimes I find that it finishes up a little bit before the notification. But yeah, welcome in. Today we're gonna be back finally at the art grind today. Welcome in, Nizuki. Turbo Gang! No ads for you. But yeah, we're gonna be back at the art grind. Finally, it's been probably, I think, 3 weeks without art because of Camp Foxfire, and then I was like, you know, I want to finish up our Minecraft, so we didn't get to do it last week either. But because of that, I was like, maybe it would be better because you know me, I was very busy and I didn't get to practice, I feel like, nearly as much as I would have liked, and I'm sure there might be a lot of people out there that also feel the same. That, you know, sometimes when you take like a spring break or a summer break, you don't get as much review and practice in as what you'd like. So I figured today maybe we'll go back and do a little bit of more practice of kind of everything today. So I figure I'll go back, keep practicing on some of my heads and stuff, and then maybe do some more of the body poses and stuff. So I say take tonight to practice up along with me on some of the things maybe that you might be struggling on and stuff. And if you have questions or anything like that, I'm happy to help and answer anything, or if you have anything in the Discord that you've posted that you want reviewed or anything like that, I am here to help. So 3 weeks of time to catch it up, but I'm still not on here. It's okay. You still got time. Hello, Bobby Jr. Welcome in. Oh, and then also I did get a little bit. I worked on a little bit of body proportion type stuff, and because that's what we kind of finished up with the last lesson was doing body proportions. So I used my course to work on the head. Like I used the course to help make my new LiLi body model. Chickens! Critiques are all right. Absolutely, Blaze. If you've got them, let me know, post them, and I can take a look for you. But I used what I've learned in my classes here for both the head and the body for making my new model body. And so I have this, Twitch don't ban me. I did censor bar the things, and be warned, artistic nudity coming in. So this is body proportions. Ta-da! So I did a LiLi body sketch. Ta-da! And I'm really proud with how it came out. I've always been like super nervous about doing skin and body textures because I just feel like I'm not super confident with it. But I tried to really apply like anatomy and making sure like my sizing was how I want it and stuff like that. And I'm happy with how it turned out. Even like I won't show the head yet and stuff because I still want the new body and stuff to be a surprise for you guys. But yeah, I'm super happy with how things go. I still struggle with shoulder blades. I've always struggled with shoulder blades. But I tried. I looked at a lot of anatomy and stuff like that, and did my best. And I'm super happy with how it came out, so. Looking respectfully. 3/4 view has me in shambles with the jawline, but I'm all for the practice arc since I'm coming off a years-long heart hiatus. Oh, if you want some help and stuff too, Serene, just let me know. Because I can do critiques and draw-overs and stuff if you're looking for advice. But only if you want it. It's totally cool if you don't, too. Saw the post is looking really good. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with how it's turning out. So I did, but yeah, I was like making sure like my proportions and stuff. Cause like initially, when I did the 3D model, I had like a lot of things that were just a hair off, and like the belly button I had like originally too low and stuff like that. So now I've edited the model just a little bit and stuff to get it to look a little better and more proportioned. So yeah, I did that, and then I did start. At some point, I started doing this, and then I never finished it because I think I had somebody show up at the house or something like that, and I was like, oh, never got to finish this. Well, so maybe we'll finish it today too. But I figured right now maybe we'll go back to starting, maybe just doing a little bit of head practice first. Before we get into like body proportion stuff again. A booty study. Get the booty in there. There was booty. A bit of booty. Booty. Artistic nudity. I'm hoping it's fine. I censored it on Twitch, but it's art study. I'm assuming it should be fine. Don't ban me, Twitch. I'm just trying to be a better artist. Yeah, it's working out. I'm getting better. I'm really proud. Like, especially when it came to the head. Like when I did the head on the model, I noticed, like, when I did the model or whatever, I noticed that the eyes like that I had were in, or not eyes necessarily, but like I had my face, right? And the ears that I had for LiLi's ears, they were too high, and then it kind of went like this a little bit. And then I noticed, I was like, oh, the ears are like way off. So like I ended up moving them in the model, and they look so much better now. Like it was one of the things that like every time I went back and looked at it, I was like, something's off and it's bothering me. And I found out it was in the ears. So I made sure that I had them in the right place this time, so it looks so much better. Very happy with that. Oh, chicken! Thank you. Chicken is opening. Yeah, there was like just something off about the 3D model, and I was like, what is wrong with this head? Figured it out, so happy with that. I had struggled with the ears too. Oh, I appreciate that, really. I'll grind until Saturday before taking up on that. No worries, because the repetition and referencing the coursework more may help my issues. For sure, for sure. Like I said, I'm just always here to help if you want it, and if you don't need it, that is totally fine too. I just make sure that everybody knows I'm here to help if you need it. Oh, fish too! Oh my gosh, I have like nothing open. I thought I did all this. My problem is I set everything up early and I thought I had everything open, and I came back right at time, and then now everything's wrong. Fish. I almost wrote fish with an E. Fish. There you go, fish is opening up. It's loading. Loading. There it is. Perfect. And I'm sure Blaze or GG will get the fish for Anonymous. Yep, there it is. Hi, Dragonator. Did you hear right? Did I hear you right? Are you offering art, advice, and critique? Yeah, of course. Of course, Dragonator. We're working on, we've been doing a course. Oh my goodness, that was really loud. Congratulations on the fish grab. That money is piling in. Might be just loud on my side. Go turn it down a little bit for me. Yeah, we've been working on a Coloso course for a while. So we've been doing mostly heads, and we just got into body proportions, but I'm gonna kind of go over some practice of doing some heads and stuff. If you saw, I'll be finished with the one I'm working on today in a few. Yeah, no worries. Just ping me when you're done, Blaze, and I can look at it. So 1, 2 is about. Also, Bad Gal, thank you for the follow, and welcome to the Foxfires. Go. Thank you, reminder notes for LiLi, thank you. So we should have our starting 3 lines. And then we come up to about 70 or 80%, right? Is it 80%? I think it's about there. Whoop! So that's our center line. Thank you. I'm not an artist, but I'm helping and mentoring a young artist to the best of my abilities. It's pretty difficult not being an artist myself. They're still underage, so it's also difficult for them to join art communities in Discord. Would you have any recommendations or advice? Oh, well, if they're interested, I do have, so this course that I've been doing, I have a playlist for it on YouTube. I believe it's art study playlist. GG, you know it. Bring it up, GG. So if you want, like, to follow, if they want to follow this course that I've been going through, do you know if they're just doing like digital art or traditional art? Yeah, higher is younger and lower is older. Because like this course that we've been going through, digital art, awesome, 2D and 3D too. Yeah, I mean, literally I've been applying, I literally even just applied what I learned from the head proportions from our early course to 3D just now too, so can definitely translate over. But yeah, even like the first episode we did in this course run through, we even just talked about like setting up your brushes and stuff too. So yeah, if you want to send them that for learning and stuff, I'm sure it could help out. Other ones that would be good. It could be hard, I feel like. Because like I know a lot of the ones that I use too will have like they'll end up having like a lot of lewd art on their page. Like I do really like Mikey Mega Mega as well, but I know their artwork can be a little on the not so safe for work side of things. Oh, Blaze got it. Thank you, Blaze. Yeah, there's the link there. And also Pixel, welcome in. Oh, and also thank you for the follow, Pixel, and welcome to the Demon Army. I'm dancing. Akbar, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. How was your stream, Akbar? Yeah, don't get Adobe. I got off of using Adobe so many years ago. It was awful for drawing. I do recommend Clip Studio still. But there is also like other programs too. And honestly, you can apply the things that are in this course to any art program. Like you can use a pen and pencil for this course as well too. Like I have literally a book that I also apply these same lessons to in a notebook that I have. So, Hawkbar, thank you for the subby as well for 30 months. Welcome to 30 months streak, 35 months. I can read. It might be a little dyslexic there. Thank you, Akbar. Welcome to the Demon Army. Huckstars, be sure to give Huckbar some love. Hello, Carrick. Welcome in. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Adobe subscriptions. Affinity software is pretty good and has a good trial time. Interesting. Yeah, they're fine with not saying for first topic, but it becomes a sensitive topic for sure, for sure. Oh, nice. Give them Clip Studio Paint license and help them a lot. Awesome. Then they can follow the tutorials very easily. Dragonator. I know Coloso does sometimes have courses for free as well, but it's more rare. I did not do this long enough, did I? Or short enough? But yeah, as for like online resources, I don't use Naoki-san is a good one too. Naoki-san. Let me find their. I like Naoki-san. Naoki-seto. There's Naoki's channel. Naoki has like a lot of really good tutorials and stuff like that too, and tips and tricks. I like their stuff a lot. But yeah, I don't use that many. I use a few tutorials and stuff here and there, but usually most of my practice comes from just finding somebody's artwork that I like and appreciate, and I'll like make mood boards of art that I like and stuff like that, and then I'll try to dissect a lot of times what it is about those pieces that I like, and I find that can help sometimes too. Yeah, hopefully the playlist helps. Yes, there's a few things not linked. I do have the brushes and stuff in the Discord. That's the only thing, is they'd have to also, if they want some of the links and stuff, they are in the Discord. Or you can just Google them in the thing as well, too. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to get better feedback. I'm at most a consumer of art, and my feedback is very limited. For sure, I think finding places that do give live like critiques or draw-overs of things will definitely be a place where you can learn faster, for sure. Like you can self-critique. That actually becomes a chapter in this Coloso course that we're going through right now. There is a section on self-critiquing and like how to do it and stuff like that. But you're gonna learn faster if you can find somebody who is better than art than you and have them critique it for you. But you have to be open to critique. That's like the biggest thing too. If your brain is not open to accepting critique, then it's gonna do you no good. So you kind of need to be in the right headspace to accept critique as well. And then another way, here, I think blind method. So the blind method is another way to, where's our blind method? Here it is. Blind method is another way to, this person also has really good, Ori Days has good tutorials as well too. And they have this one on blind method drawing. The blind method is a way to self-critique, to improve your art, but you have to actually self-critique for it. Self-critique, I did bad on this. But that's not critiquing. That's just putting yourself down. That's not a critique. That's That's just being cruel to yourself. A critique is, you know, you're gonna be finding out the parts that are different. So you need to have like your eye open to be like, oh, like my pupils are always so much smaller than this person that draws, and I like the way they draw or something, or like, oh, these people always have the highlight here or something, and I did them over here or something. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to come up with examples off the top of my head, but. Oh yeah, I was gonna open up some of the earlier courses. Stretchy artsy fingers, thank you. Ears before you hurt. Wait, and ears. How do I stretch my ears? I tried. And I hydrate too. Thank you, Turtle. You formulated so much better. I thought of the same thing, but didn't realize that's what I meant. I recommend they try to replicate a piece from an artist that they like and see what they need to work on or have problems with when trying to replicate it. Yeah, for sure. So that's definitely like the blind method. Here, I can show. I did a blind method a bit ago. I could always do it again. Where did I put it? Here, because I was not happy with how my faces were turning out. So this was me practicing the blind method. So this is like where I first started drawing, right? And then all the things I did wrong and stuff like that in red. Always like when you're so again, this is self-critiquing. So overlay it over the original. You overlay it over and then write down, physically write it down. Don't just make like a note in your head. Do a physical, like write down, oh, like my shorter chin, thick neck, longer eyebrows, lower eyes, mouth higher. Like I wrote down all the changes I needed to make. And then this is like what it was with all those changes, right? And then you did it again. And so this is what it came out with again, you know? Like I took in mind what I wrote down in a head, made a mental note, tried to do those things, and I got closer. And then again, went over it again, had lots of things I did wrong, wrote it down, and just kept doing it over and over and over again. And like, this is like the progress, right, that I made doing that blind method. Like, significantly better, right? Like, you can see the progress that I made in real time, just with those heads, right? So it does work really, really well. But you have to critique yourself, and you have to use, like, you gotta work your brain and make a note of those changes and try to commit them in your next iteration, right? And that's what's gonna get you out of doing muscle memory and actually physically learning and applying the critiques that you picked up from when you take notes and doing like trace overs and stuff. I recall I tried the blind method and got frustrated with it to the point of dropping it. I struggled to understand what I was doing wrong and different at all. For sure, I could see something was off, but couldn't wrap my head around why or put words to it at all, making it hard to figure out how to improve. And that's part of the critiquing part. So like, that's why I do a lot of times the things in red and stuff like that. But it could be like, for me, it was more, I was working on more where my features and stuff needed to go, right? But it could have been like, oh, I always draw my initial head to circle too small, or like the proportions between my head circle and, you know, chin length is always too off. I think that was like for this one, yeah. I noticed that my chin, I kept doing too long here. I think I wrote that. Yeah, shorter chin was a big one for me. I noticed that I always kept doing my chin too long. So that was like the first thing I picked up on. So that like the distance here to here was always way too long when I did it. But again, I had to figure out, oh, that is what is wrong. And that's like the hard part with self-critiquing. So that's where the blind method can be a struggle if you're not very good at self-critiquing your own work or seeing what's wrong. So if you have somebody that you could send something off to and say like, hey, can you tell me like what parts look off here or something like that, you might be able to find somebody that can help you with that, but it could be tricky. Also, hello, Coloso Book. Welcome in. New course. We're doing a review today because we've been off on vacation. We've had like spring break, summer vacation for the last 3 weeks. So I'm just kind of coming back and doing some more practice and stuff because I feel like I'm a rusty. Was the blind method. The blind method, basically you draw over an artist's work that you like, and then first you trace over it, and then you try to redraw that without tracing over it, which is like drawing it blind, right? Like you don't look at your reference or anything, and you try to redraw it again. And then you go back to the original art, and then you place that over, like, your blind over top of the original art. Like, you lay it on top, and then you see, like, all your things that you did wrong, essentially. All the parts you did wrong. The tracing task worksheet is good for the blind method in this course. Tracing task worksheet. I don't remember that one, but I believe it. Yeah, the problem is I just don't write notes. I try, but it's a bad habit I gave myself from school. No worries. It's just writing it down you'll remember it better than just like having it in your head. Yeah, I'm very rusty right now. I feel rusty. Ah. I don't think I'm up to this yet. I need to just go back and review some of my other stuff. Let me open up their stuff again. Took me way too long to realize holding shift with the circle tool makes it proportional. Oh no! Flip stereo paint. Also, if you do alt and shift, it'll make it, instead of getting it larger from the sides, it'll grow from the middle, if that makes sense. Use alt and shift, and it'll change where it gets larger or smaller from with proportional. Or sorry, that's for like transform, when you're like trying to make something bigger or smaller. If you hold alt, it'll go from the middle instead of a corner. Face ratios? Is that what I'm looking for right now? I need to go back and look at my course reference stuff. Open. Ah, there's the tracing one. That's the one you're talking about. This one, right? Practice by tracing over the blue line art. There was my work. I might just turn off all the blue artwork and try from there. Oh. There we go. Let's try this. This is very helpful. Yay! I'm glad it helps. Also, hello, Shade Darkfire. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think kind of the first step, like before even getting to the like proportional side of things of where eyes and stuff go, which was like our first lesson, just getting used to drawing these circle and line proportions. Like you'll always see people like, oh, drawing art like these lines, right? But it's like learning why, like there's a reason why artists do that, and finding out that reason is all about proportions for the face and stuff like that. So making sure you get those original foundational blocks in the right sizes is like the most important part. It's kind of like for most of art, the longest part is gonna be your sketching part and getting those like building blocks down. Like they always say, like if you're building like a brick wall, right? Like you're making, you know, a brick wall, right? And when you make your brick wall, if you like start by putting the bricks down, but then like you skip like a couple, you know, and then you go to put the bricks like on top, and it's like, well, you know, you kind of get something there. This part's good, but then, you know, this part's gonna kind of fall again. Like, you're gonna like not have a very strong wall, because like if you don't have the bottom bricks down, nothing up top is gonna look any good, right? So you really want to make sure that like that first layer of bricks, you know, that you put down is really strong and solid, so that it can help support and hold up all the other things on top of that, right? You don't want to skip things out. So that's why these circle and line things are always like so important, especially when you're first starting art. And sure, like somebody who's a master might be able to skip that step because they've done it a million times, but you gotta have a lot of hours in order to do that. I think pen control is another thing that becomes very difficult for people right off the bat too, which is something that's like, I don't think you can really teach it. It's something that just slowly comes with like kind of doing a lot of work. Like, I'm not even 100% happy with, like, my lines either, and how things look for my... I still think my lines are too sketchy and stuff. I'm not strong enough. My lines. But so this, like what I'm doing right now, would be like kind of like doing the blind method, but skipping that first initial tracing. Because what I'll do is I'll put the other one underneath it and kind of look and see what I did wrong. So I do think the blind method is a very good way of learning. I think a lot of times too, when people are first starting art, is they forget to look at negative space as well. So when I'm looking at the reference and I'm looking at my own, I'm not, for one, I'm not looking at the piece as I am drawing an eye right now. I'm looking at the shapes and trying to mimic those shapes. So like, I think a lot of times when people try to draw like, oh, well, I'm drawing an eye. So, you know, there's a top part and then there's like these lashes and stuff, and then it's got to have a pupil. They'll be drawing what they think an eye looks like instead of looking at the model and what the shapes are. One way to, as like how I got taught to kind of train yourself out of that habit, or if you find yourself doing that, a way to fix that flip your canvas upside down. And then draw. Okay? Because your brain is going to be like not recognizing it for what it is anymore. And you're going to be looking at instead the relationship between what the lines are and what is the relationship between them, I guess. Instead of like, oh, I'm drawing an eyelash right now, so an eyelash has to be this shape. No, you want to look at what the line looks like over here instead of thinking of it as like an eye and stuff. And looking instead at like the negative space. So that's one way to trick yourself as well. So if you are a newer person and you're finding that you keep drawing from your own brain and what you think it looks like instead of drawing what like another artist or what the reference actually physically is, put your canvas upside down because it'll trick your brain. I think it's a very good exercise to do. Because I even, like, still, even to right now, like, oh, this is much more tricky to do. To draw this upside down is much more hard. But it helps you learn how to think about negative space and art as a series of lines instead of what is in your brain. I learned this at a very early age. Mama Pup taught me this trick. And I was probably like, gosh, I might have been like 8 or something when Mama Pup told me to draw like this. So I think it definitely helped me. There was like two tips that I remember from Mama Pup, and one was like, yeah, don't think of like you're drawing an eye as an eye, but think of art as like a series of lines and shapes that interact with each other, and like looking at the distance between shapes and stuff like that. And then the other one was with color. So I remember her teaching me like, when you're painting something, because when I first started my art journey, digital art was not a thing. That was not a thing. So I actually started with like acrylic painting was kind of where I got like my art start. So Mama Pup was like teaching me how to paint and would tell me like, oh, you know, like when you look at the eye of a cat, like it is not just like, oh, the cat has a green eye and you just fill it all in with green, right? Oops, that's not green. The cat has a green eye, and you just paint everything green, and then it's got the pupil in the middle, right? And there's a cat eye. Well, it's not actually green, but like when you look at it, like there's a series of different colors, you know, that like make up the eye. You know, and it's still green, but you know, you might find like little bits of orange or purple or like all these crazy different, you know, colors. And sure, when you look at it from a distance, it all still looks green. But it's like finding all those little tiny details within the green eye. So it's, again, kind of the same lesson of, like, don't just draw an eye, but, like, think of how the eye is composed and how there's, like, an iris and stuff and, like, the different colors to make it up and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Hopefully that helps, like, some new artists out there. This also is very difficult because I can't see my reference when it's flipped upside down like this. Which is probably good. I should practice my gaze as well too. I find my anime eye gaze, I can't get it right. I feel like the eyes are never looking the way I want them to. Ah, this is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of what I mean. When I drew this eyelash. Look, when I drew this eyelash, see that eyelash right there, right? This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. When I drew it, I drew this lash, right? The way that I expect a lash to be, right? Where it's just like this. I expect an eyelash to curve up, right? So that was just my brain automatically drawing it the way that I expect an eyelash to go, right? However, if you look at her eyelash, remember I drew mine like this. Her eyelash that she drew actually goes down. That was a perfect example of what I did wrong, right? When I flipped it upside down, when I looked at the two, I like compared the two, I didn't see it as an eyelash here. I just saw this kind of curved down shape and I was like, oh, mine doesn't do that. That was a perfect example of what I was talking about. Yay! Hopefully that made sense to you guys. The one I did for today is done. When you are ready to take a look at it, chickens. Ready to look at it? Would it be all right if you also look at the other one I did that I posted before today's? Oh, of course, I'll look at any ones you want me to, Blaze. So wait, it's kind of bad to draw as you think it looks, IRL. Kind of. So yes and no, I guess. So it's always good to draw with a reference rather than from your brain. And I've talked about the shrimp example many times before, where it's like, draw a shrimp from your brain. And I'm like, okay, here's a shrimp. You know, it's got like something like that and some leggies. I don't know, there's an eye on the shrimp. They've got like little antenna things. I don't know. You draw a shrimp from your brain and it's like, yay, sure, that's some kind of a shrimp. Don't they have a long? I don't know. Now it looks like it's got a beak. And then it's like, oh, you look up a shrimp. Now I'm gonna look at a shrimp with oh, let's not look up dead shrimp. Live shrimp. There we go, there's a live shrimp. You know, I look up at a reference of a shrimp. That's very far from what an actual shrimp looks like. There's like my alien shrimp. Like, I clearly do not know what the front head of a shrimp looks like. So it's like, okay, now if you draw like with a reference, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, they got some like bits in here, kind of comes down like that, and you know, they got the pod, and these parts kind of come down, and then the like little bits here have some lines on them and stuff. His eyes like here. The little tentacle thingies were down here instead, you know? And then the leggies, they're kind of like here. You know? That is a much better shrimp. Right? So, like, even though you think you know what something looks like, a lot of the time, you don't actually know what it looks like, right? So always use references, and then you can take this step like an even further where like if I were to study drawing this shrimp's like anatomy, knowing like what all the little leg pieces are called, like I got 3 of them here, there's always 6 here, you know, there's always like 5 bodice pieces, I don't know what any shrimp parts are called, the antenna, like if I go through and I study that shrimp, imagine what the 3rd iteration would look like, right? I'd have such a good shrimp, right? And that's why like studying anatomy and having references and stuff is going to make your art so much better. So the same thing kind of goes for, you know, like a human body, where we think we know what a human body looks like. You're like, yeah, I know how to draw like a person. They have eyes, a nose, and a mouth. But your brain kind of forgets a lot of the important things. So it kind of goes for the same thing there. So that's why, like, you know, artists will always say, just draw with a reference, draw with a reference, draw with a reference. And then, like, the other side of that is I am doing, like, these studies. So the reason why I'm trying not to treat it as, like, an eye and stuff like that and trying to separate that a little bit is because I am trying to drop my habits of drawing and learn from their drawing and trying to stop my muscle memory essentially from taking over, and I'm trying to really apply how they draw and learn how the master draws things. Because again, if we've been drawing for like a really long time, we have a lot of like bad habits, you know, like you practice drawing, but you know how they say like perfect practice makes perfect instead of like practice makes perfect. That's true. Well, like if you keep practicing bad mistakes, you have to unlearn those mistakes. So that's why drawing upside down can help separate that a little bit. It makes your brain stop and go, ah, what am I doing? And it's that stop and pause that's going to help you better retain information. Technically, if you want to be even better at drawing, not using those lasso tools and transform tools and stuff like that in digital art will help you improve faster too. Like if I were to, instead of moving this eyebrow to where I want it, actually physically erase it and redraw it. Right? It takes longer, but you'll become better because you're physically doing the change. It's kind of like taking notes. Ah, see, like I just like transform tool because I'm like, it's not perfect. But I've gotten so used to it in my drawing pipeline, it's hard to drop that habit. But I should. Because technically, like I've gotten so used to digital art, my traditional art is so bad, which is so funny because like I did everything traditional, and now that I've gotten so, I have these cheat tools as such a crutch that my traditional art is so much worse now, I feel. Also, make sure you are in a shrimp. Thank you, Cloud. And hydrate as well. Sour smell and spicy taste is surely akin to that of kimchi. What? It just means I'm weak. Are you okay, Outer Bubble? Also, welcome in, Zeb. Feel like That's a little straighter. Alright. Let's see how we did. My eyes are too high, I can tell already. So let's fix that up first. Oops. Which tells me, so that's another thing. So I'm gonna try to explain my self-critique here. So I can already tell my eyes are too high compared to theirs. Actually, my chin is too low too, so I might need to just make it a little bit bigger as well. But I can tell in the relationship to the ears, I think I still need to move them down a little bit. But that also tells me that maybe I had my starting line off a little bit, right? So it goes back down to that foundation, because like I put the eyes underneath where I thought the line should go, but clearly the line for my circle must have been a little bit too high. So that's just like something that I'm kind of have in my head, right? My cheeks are too wide too. Trying to talk a little bit out loud about my critiquing here. It can get hard because like I just do it in my head a lot of the time. But it'll be good for me if I say it out loud too. Still not happy with it. I love the check-in screen. Yeah, welcome in. Ah, Mango! I love you, Mango. Thank you for the subby and for 4 months. Welcome to the Demon Army, of course. I hope you're doing well, Mango. My friend does something similar. She mirrors it to check perspective. Yeah. A lot of time you'll press the mirror key to check. Like, mirror key allows you to look at the artwork with a fresh set of eyes, essentially. So when you get used to, like, you draw things in the same place for too long, your brain starts to get used to it, how it looks. And when you flip the canvas, it's like tricking your brain into looking at it like almost like you're a new person looking at it for the first time, kind of thing. Also, thank you for getting the shout out for Mango. Foxsire's be sure to give Best Burb Mango some love. And I'm just vibing. Of course, of course. Enjoy the art teaching vibes. So yeah, that's a great tool, is flipping your canvas, because it'll you'll do the same thing too, where see, my cheek is too high, my cheekbone. You'll do the same thing too, like if you just don't look at your art for a little bit. So if you do a sketch, it's good to take a break from it and look at it like in the morning or something like that. Because you'll find if you take a break, you'll learn all the mistakes you did. By looking at it with fresh pair of eyes the next morning, kind of thing. My head is a little bit that small too. So that goes back to that circle thing. Yeah, flipping it or drawing it upside down, those are great ways to check. I think I might have. I know, like, the... I know the nose and eyes are all off. And my chin is as well. I think it's just because this is too high, so let's fix that first. My head is higher compared to theirs, so I'm gonna drop it a little bit and see if that helps me visualize it a little better. If I line up where the ears and stuff are, right? See, now my head is too small. That's a lot better. Getting closer now. Much closer. And then this is way too low now. Hairline too low. All right, we are much closer now. My eyes, I think my pupils are too large. Fix that. They were too oblong. Just gonna shorten them a little bit. Cool. Of course, mine is a lot sketchier, but I think that's better. All right, should we see how we did? I'm at least happy with this one now. All right. Let's see. I think the first layer was this one. Oops. Let's move it into the right spot. Hey, not too bad. My cheeks are still chubby. But my location of parts is pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I am pretty darn happy. Oh, I forgot the lower lip. Oops. This pupil is a little bit off, but size-wise, pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Yep, literally me. I forgot minor detail XYZ. Classic. Yeah, note the things I'm changing. I would definitely fix the cheeks. I think that is, again, like a common thing because, like, I know I've been doing, like, I'll do these repetitions and heads and stuff like that, and I always find I do draw my cheeks a little on the chubbier side. So I will make a note. Cheeks are chubbier. Yeah, it could be a style thing. Like, it's not a bad thing. But if I'm wanting to do more of the slim, mature style. Because, again, I was trying to go for copying theirs, right? And I do always tend to draw my cheeks a little chubbier because I find that it makes them look cuter. It makes the face cuter. But I want to be able to draw all styles, so I want to draw like more mature and slim faces too. So nothing wrong with some chubby cheekies. And then her eye had more of a droop. Her outer eye corner is drooped more. So right here, right? And thinner neck. I always do my necks too thick. Thinner neck. Chubby cheeks are adorable. I'm all chub. Look at me. Look at this face. Look at my face. Nothing but chub. But things that I did really good is placement. Placements are really good. Like my proportions of like where I got the eye, everything lines up really well there, I think. All right, I might try again. That one took me a long time, right? Let's see if we can do it again, but faster. Crafty, thank you for the subby for 18 months. Welcome to the email army. A year and a half. Congratulations, Crafty. Whoop. My coaster got stuck to the bottom of my glass. Thank you, thank you. We'll still be a little before the end, but will the lesson channel still be around after the lesson streams? Absolutely, I think so. Because it's just like a good art channel, so. Also, Blaze, wait. You wanted me to do some critique too, so I'll take a little break before I draw the next one here. I hate it when coasters do that. Hello, Good Bridge, welcome in. Yeah, I can look at it. For sure. All right. So the body figure one? You said there was another one that you wanted me to look at, though? I'm just kind of like doing practice today, so it's like whatever. I'm down for whatever. All right. Short skull, I can repost if you like. Yeah, for sure. Well, hold on. Is it... Oh, is it this one? The fox girl? Is it fox girl? I don't know. She looks like she has a foxtail. Whatever figure she is. This one? Yeah, okay, cool. So let's look at them both and see. I would say for both of these, I think your so these steps, you're doing really good. I think if anything, try to make sure like when you are drawing in your, this is kind of something that they didn't talk about, but I'm gonna talk about with you, and it's for people that are new to drawing in perspective, so like boxes in perspective, right? When you're drawing your boxes, try to make sure that your lines are parallel with each other, right? So see how like this box, when you have this and here, see how like it gets really thin on this side? Let me zoom in a bit better. Right? See how like these lines? See how it's like really thin on one side and like bigger on the other? When you're drawing in like boxes and in perspective, your lines will end up being parallel to each other. So you want to get good practice at drawing them very square and neatly and in perspective. So again, like the top of this box that you drew, right? So this is just about cleaning it up. So the two blue lines here, right, should match each other in that they should be the same length and the same distance apart from each other. So not just this like same, like if this, how you drew this corner, it's out further, right? So even if I straighten them so that they're the same distance, you still have the other corner out here and here, which is going to be a different perspective than what this is in. Right? So like your corners of your box, right, are in a different position. So they should be more technically square. Trying to be very careful. And it's not easy. Drawing in perspective is not easy. So keep this in mind. So try to draw your boxes really clean, because it's going to be easiest to draw the box first, because a box is only a couple of lines, right? So that's why we start with boxes. So try to make sure that your boxes end up being really clean. And it can be hard though to see as well too. Especially when it comes to like these hips and stuff. Like I think this box for her hips might even be different. I think if I'm drawing from the top, remember how we had that butterfly, right, position as the top of the hips, and we draw a bar? Her other little hip bone, I think, is actually about here. So we draw kind of like a bar between those two, right? You think of that butterfly. I think it's more like that, which means I think this box is going to be a little different than how you have it drawn here. Just a little bit. And again, this is just comes with practice and time, and that's why Isham has us drawing boxes over characters, right? So that we can learn how to see this box inside of a body. I think that is more the shape of this box. So you just see more of the top of that box than what you have here. Your top one here though looks really good. I'd say this is like the middle of the box. So then you're gonna have middle spine there. But this one's looking pretty good. I don't think you really see much of... It's kind of a hard one to draw. You barely, I think, see the top of this box. Sometimes that just happens. You end up picking a hard one to draw. But you're pretty good on this one. So yeah, just watching your boxes. I drew those boxes over a lot. It's hard. It's hard to see the box for sure. Saw the mobile and said yes, that's a good way of picking. But yeah, so I think your top box is pretty good here. Let's see with this one. Same thing. It's just gonna be about learning how to draw boxes in perspective and stuff. I'm really shocked that Isham hasn't gone over perspective of boxes and stuff like that. So I mean, don't be afraid to pick up one of these and practice doing this too. Everybody in every art career has done practice drawing boxes in different perspectives. This picture is blurry. I don't know what video this is. The perspective guy. Maybe this will help.
Hello.
Whoop. I don't know if, I don't know if this video will help. I haven't actually watched it. But drawing boxes in different perspectives. I can't guarantee the goodness of that tutorial. It was just one that I found. I'm trying to find. Oh, stuff like this. There we go. Stuff like this. So you can draw a point of perspective and then draw lines like coming out from it. So this is how perspective works. This is like your horizon, and drawing the lines out from it. You'll notice, I'm just like using this one to show, right? That these lines all end up like intersecting through the different points of this box, right? So now this matches, right? So this line, that's why the lines, when I was talking about this, that's why the lines are always exactly parallel and the same distance from each other, is because of perspective and how the vanishing point lines work. And that's how you end up getting the box lines always being the same distance away from each other. But yeah, so like just practice drawing boxes and getting into the habit of, you can even like trace over boxes and stuff like that to get used to it. But getting used to drawing boxes is key. So I would even recommend just try, if you're new to art, just try drawing over some pre-done boxes and then going in and trying some by yourself too. First image in searching box perspective? No. I don't know what I searched for, but let's see. Box perspective art practice, but I'm trying to find, like, there's like a standard like box thing that everybody always ends up doing for practice, and I can't find an example of it. It's basically like this head thing, but done with just boxes. And I can't find an example of it. Also, I wonder if what is their name? Is it Proto or? I'm trying to think of like a person that I remember having really good like beginner like box and Proco? Maybe their name's Proco. Proco art? Poco? Poco art? Why can't I remember their channel name? Proco. It is Proco, I think.
Hi, I'm Marshall Vandriff, and
I think this is it. Yeah. This is their channel. This is a really good channel for learning like art basics. Let me see if they've got a good like video for Proco art is really good. For oh wow, they do like all short stuff now. That's cool. Okay, they got other videos too. Boxes are easy. Here we go.
Congratulations.
This will be a good tutorial, I know for sure. Proco is always really good. There's a box tutorial for drawing boxes in perspective. So I know they'll have some like good tips and stuff like that for drawing boxes in perspective. Highly suggest watching some of Proco's beginner videos. They're always really, really good. And again, they like are good at applying like art knowledge rather than just like, here's how you do this in 2D art, right? Or sorry, not 2D, in digital art. They're very good at just like teaching general art knowledge rather than like hacks or tips and tricks for digital art. So I think their channel is amazing. So yeah, I would just say like watch your boxes and practice learning how to draw boxes in perspective. I think could be good. And then I would say for both of these, your limbs and everything are looking like good sized and stuff. Like nothing is too off there. Now, when it comes to drawing in this step, I would say you're missing some lines, right? So like when you're drawing your pelvis, right? Don't forget to draw like the top of the bowl, you know? Like think of this as a solid piece, you know? Don't forget to draw that and like draw where the legs go. You know, those are important information pieces. The back of the chest, right? So yeah, I would say don't forget that, because that's important information that you're gonna want. Then for the arms and stuff like that, try to think of them more as 2D cylinders, I think. So instead of just like drawing a line, right? Like this, that connects them. Try to think of that tube like connecting almost like a socket into that ball joint. And like really seeing, trying to see it in 3D. It's hard to explain, and what you can do is draw lines, curved lines, to help you see that curve too over top of things. So like here, you got the butt here, which is good. Didn't forget that. 'Cause yeah, we're like basically making like a ball jointed doll, right? So like this is gonna curve around. Because I feel like right now you're seeing more of just connecting the dots and the lines rather than seeing the visual space of things. Right? So don't forget, like when something is behind, doing a dotted line, right? Helps you see things. Here, let me zoom in again. In more of like a 3D, right? Space. And look at how the hand is actually supposed to go. Ah, so see, I drew this backwards already because I was just looking at yours. Your arm. So when we look at her arm, this would be like the top of a circle that you would see. And then this would come down. And this would be behind, right? So you would see the top of that cylinder, the way that hand is. Let's just draw that specific one so you can kind of see what I'm doing, right? So if I draw the top of the cylinder, right? So like light would be hitting down on the top of that surface. And then we draw. And one thing too, your arm slowly gets thinner to the wrist. Like your shoulder is going to be a lot thinner than what your wrist is, right? So these circles that you're drawing, this one should technically be like the biggest circle, right? This one should be next smallest, and then this one should be the smallest. Okay? So that's another thing you can kind of keep in mind, so that when you connect the tubes, right, they're going to kind of get smaller, and the tubes will be kind of more like a cone almost, the cylinders. They're gonna shrink down like that, right? Whereas when you look at yours right here, a lot of them, they're all just the same size, right? There's no differentiation between them. So that'll help make it look a little bit better too. So again, this tube, it's going to be invisible in the back. And there's the tube shape. So if we were to draw little circles, it would be three-dimensional that way. Does that kind of help a little bit, Blaze? I guess, so to summarize, practice your box shape. So practice boxes in perspective. So that's number one. And then try to think of, the shapes in more 3D. Think in 3D more. Which is, again, easier said than done. It's something that just takes a lot of practice. But when it comes down to thinking in 3D, that's what's really going to help you get a stronger base down. Again, kind of like when I talked about, starting off really well with the circle and the lines and stuff like that in perspective. Trying to train your brain to think of things as 3D objects will definitely help your art journey for sure. So, and it's something that's going to take time. It's not something you just wake up overnight with. So, collected scientific evidence and claims that LiLi is amazingly amazing. No. 90% prep rule, absolutely. I think I found something similar to what you were talking about for the box in different angles. I can post it in Discord. Yeah, for sure. Please do. Please do. Please do. So like for this one, for example, this hip is actually pretty straight. So, the hips again. So look at how, like, your circle is right now to what I'm drawing out here. I'll draw it with, like, blue. Right? So your circle is here, but look how the circle should be starting here. Right? This is technically where, this is the bottom of the pelvis, right? So the circle should be starting where the leg is, but your circle is not quite there, right? So that's gonna be like the butterfly point. I technically find it a little bit easier for these models to start with that butterfly hip shape that she was kind of talking about. Actually, I think this one goes even a little higher to make them even. So again, I would say like the box shape to help me find the kind of the top of the box would be somewhere there. Maybe a little lower. So you did get the kind of the top of the box, I think, in the right spot. And then quite honestly, it's not too off in perspective. I think you see a little bit less of that top box. Like you barely get a sliver. A little thinner there. This is an awful color to be doing this with. I'm sorry, it's in green. So your box isn't too far off on this one, but you had, I think, the perspectives lines a little bit off for the back of the box. So like your outerness of the box was really good, but I don't think you were able to see where the back of the box was because your back box line is like here, right? And then you connected it up here and here. So I think you got a little lost on where the back of the box is. But we want this line and this line to be parallel to each other, right? And this line, and this line, and this line, and this line. Sorry, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, right? To be parallel to each other. And then again, these lines are all parallel, so we draw the back of the box here. I can kind of see it a little bit. Kind of see the differences there, right? Between your box and my box, right? So this would be like this face. And that's the top. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better there. But I think you do pretty good on these boxes. I think this one, just again, that back side, I think you couldn't see as well. So it's really just, I think you're getting the idea behind it. I think you just need to learn drawing boxes in perspective, honestly. I think that's all it is. Which makes sense because we haven't practiced it at all in this course, so I think anybody could use that practice. I need more box drawing practice, honestly, so it's a very important part of art, so yeah, there you go. Otherwise, I think you're doing pretty darn good. Because again, I feel like she didn't give as much guidance on the bodies and poses, but maybe we just started this course, so maybe there's more to come, so. If you want to see the box and jointing artworks in finished pieces, one of the new members of Hololive Justice Live 2D model is based on a ball jointed doll and has a lot of fan art. Ah, there you go. That's true. That's true. Making a ball jointed doll. Ball jointed dolls actually would be a good reference as well too for learning that more. Which I'm sure you could just Google like ball jointed doll photography. Yeah, like there's like a ton of ball jointed dolls like that you can use for reference, because again we're like using figures to draw from and stuff, right? So you can kind of see more of these cylinders. Right. It's drawing, but you get the idea. But I think doing this is also really, really good, so. Drawing over anime figures. But drawing over ball jointed dolls, essentially the same thing. Of course, Blaze, you're doing really good. I love seeing all the practice work you've been throwing in. Do you want me to... Here, I'll put this one in. I'll throw this one in the Discord for you. Not a whole lot of help, I feel like. Because again, I think you're following what the instructions were from Isham really well, so the only thing I could see that might help you out. Oh yeah, that box thing is perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. Box thing you posted. That is exactly what I was talking about. So yeah, practicing those box shapes will help you out quite a bit, so. Yeah, it's a good box picture. So if anybody else wants to see the box picture here, in case you're not in the Discord and you want to see it. Ta-da! This is what I was talking about. Take a picture of it. Trace over it. Copy it. Use it as practice. Learning how, like, I can't stress how important it is to draw boxes when you're first starting art. Just sit down and draw boxes for an hour. You will be shocked at how much it will improve your art. Yep, and then you can use it as a reference for heads, exactly. Oops, I do not want to save that. Do not save. Do not save. All right. There's our art. Let's see if we can draw this a little bit faster now. And then maybe we will work on our own body practice as well. So yeah, when I'm drawing this first circle, I'm drawing very lightly. Very, very lightly, like my pen is barely touching the tablet. And when I'm drawing, I'm using my whole arm to just slide around on that tablet again. And then I just slowly apply pressure, right? To get those like fine lines as that starting base. All right, and then again, we're gonna split our model in half. Again, another thing that will help you become a better artist too, drawing circles and lines. Again, I'm like, I keep drawing this line crooked. I keep leaning to one side. It's a bad habit of mine. Trying to correct it here instead of using the clutch or the crutch of using the transform tools. I'm trying to correct it myself so that my brain remembers it. All right, so I'm gonna try putting that starting line a little bit lower this time. My head is too small because my line here, this to this to this, is 50%. So I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. And how am I checking this? I'm just literally using my finger on the screen. Like, I'm just physically using my fingers to judge the distance. So yeah, like now I'm coming down to about here, which is better. Because that's at 80%, moving the chin up 80% that they were talking about. I'm hoping that's gonna help me get this cheek more in the right spot. Trying to go faster. Bring my eye. I did 2 oblong last time. The eye needs to droop a bit more. That was another note we made. I always love how dainty Isham always draws their eyelash or eyebrows. Do a good job at it. So actually, like when I was drawing that ear, I was like, oh, I remembered it felt like a Ziggy Z thing. Like this part. Because when I was drawing it upside down, it was like, oh, I remember that angle really well from when I was drawing upside down instead of seeing it as like the ear. And it helped me draw that actually a lot faster. Hairline needs to go higher. I remember that. That was much faster. Oh, and the neck. I need to do thinner neck. I remember it should be just the inside of the pupils, is what she always says. All right. Speed. That's what we like to see. Let's see how it looks now. My mouth is too wide. My neck is not right. Too slanted. A little better. Alright, let's fix the mouth. Eyes are too close together. Actually, I think my eyebrows are in the right spot. I think it's just the eye. Just a tiny bit this way. And remember too, like, you don't have to like have it exactly perfect like when you first like finish the face. Like, look at the face, compare, and then keep editing, erasing, and changing until you're happy with how it looks too, because that is part of the art referencing process, right? More of a smile. That's better. On with the lip. All right, I think that's much better. Like, that was like a quarter of the time it took compared to the last one. Like, this looks significantly better already. I think my top of my head is a little bit wider compared to theirs, but I don't think it looks bad. I think anime heads are always a little bit alien. There we go. My nose might be a little bit low. All right, let's see. How'd we do? Where is it? There it is. Okay. To the right spot. Pretty good. My ears are maybe a little bit large. And maybe my mouth is just a tiny bit low, but I think it's pretty fine. I'm pretty happy with that. I think just my ears are a little bit large. That was it. So I'll write it down. That's really all there was to it. Yes, technically brows could come down a little bit and mouth up, but I really don't think that's bad at all. I am happy with it. Again, like, it's also not about getting it exactly right too, because I mean every single face is gonna have like small details, like, and like even Isham is never gonna have like her eyebrows in the exact same place every single time, right? It's more for me right now about trying to find this style for me and how they draw their lines. That's much more what I'm trying to master personally, is their lines and their styling of their eyes and their lashes and everything like that. That's personally what I'm more working on. So again, when you're learning, it's also about trying to recognize the parts that you want to improve as well. Instead of just like, for me, I'm trying to make more of an exact copy because I'm wanting to learn their styling. But if you're just starting out, It might be less about having the exact look that Isham has and more about just making sure the proportions and everything are proper. So recognizing what part you want to learn and practice and stuff too is another important part of the self-critique journey. The lurker's experience, here's Lily say, I think my ears were a little bit too large, and starts to write, Lily's ears are cute and good size, before remembering she is drawing heads and was talking about the curvies. Well, her ears are still cute. Look at these ears. They're very large, but that's what makes them cute. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about body confidence issues with Lily. My art body confidence, that wavers more. Honestly, my art body confidence is way less than my actual body confidence. I'm like, I can't change anything about myself, so, you know, I am what I am. Am I perfect? No. Is anybody else perfect? No. Of course not. That's why we're human. Everybody's different size, shapes, and colors, and everything in between, because that's what makes life interesting. It would be very boring if everything was all the same. The same goes for art, right? If everything was the exact same art style, then it's very bland and not fun, right? You want different variety. You can always change your own body to just start mainlining ice cream. Ice cream. Lily is Lily, exactly. Cool. I like these. Look at that. I definitely did better on the eye droop and the cheek chub. I think my cheeks are in a much better place for these ones. It's just the ears were a little bit too large. And I drew that so much faster. That's good. That's learning. That is progress. Try to be body negative when you're a chibi-cheeked 3-foot tall football fox with a neat hat and permanent smile. It helps. It definitely helps. Cool. Alright, let's save. Let's do the, Actually, should I try to draw one blind first? Let's try to draw one blind, and then we'll do the, Then we'll try to do the body proportion stuff. I just wanted to go back and practice head shapes a little bit because I felt like it had been some time and I wanted to review it. I was like, I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking that. Keep doing this initial line off. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Does it need to be longer? I'm having trouble setting up this first circle in line, I feel like. because I feel like the line is always too short there. Is my problem. Although this one is also, I think, my circle is a little oblong. Try that. So I'm measuring, that's better. Now it comes down to about here. There we go. I think that's better. So the question, how do you mentally separate the two angled lines of a cheek mentally? I've been curving them together and it's my biggest struggle. Two separate... How do you mentally separate the two angled lines of a cheek? Oh, like from here to here? Like where you put the bend? Is that what you mean? For the jawline? So I also struggled with that when I was first starting, and just basically tracing over Isham's a lot when I did the blind method, these ones, that was one of the things that I also struggled with when I started doing these ones too. You'll notice like I didn't know where to put that bend, and it started becoming a habit of like learning, but even I'm still not the best at it. I think Isham like talked about it's basically where the mouth is gonna go. I find that it's always a little bit above. So you can kind of use that as a little bit of a reference. It's like if your mouth is gonna be somewhere here, like between these 2 points, if this is the bottom of your nose, right? I think here my circle is a little bit lower. But I think they're saying like your bend should be where your mouth is at. So like this bend should be about the same place as where your mouth is gonna go. And I think that's because like this is like the bottom of the jaw, right? So like this half is your jaw. And then this is the top of the mouth is what stays in place. So that kind of makes sense, right? So how I kind of keep in mind is usually my nose will go to the bottom of this circle. And then the mouth is 50% between the bottom of the jaw and the nose, right? Roughly. So then your line for that is going to be roughly 50% as well. But I do find that I tend to draw mine a little bit higher or lower. So I'm like connected about there. But yeah, so like these are kind of a similar length to each other. Does that kind of help, Serene? You're gonna put that bend roughly 50% of the way down. But I think I found it just by doing a lot of observations in their art. Yeah, it definitely helps. Right now, I was finishing a face, then redrawing the jaw, but that seemed super tedious. And like I was missing something in the anatomy, so that helps a lot. Okay, good. I'm glad it helps. It's not a perfect explanation, but that was just something that I observed, I guess, from their arts. Oh, I forgot the upper eyelid. Here. I think that ear is too small now. Maybe I just draw big ears. That's better. All right. Hydration and save check, thank you. Oh wait, hold on. Now I gotta figure out how that applies to 3D. For 3/4. For 3/4, I find it's very high up usually. If you have 1,000 views on this VOD, it's me, all me. I find for the 3/4, it's very much like a smaller. Gosh, I'm like way off. Circle. So again, adjusting things up after is normal. My face was too wide. The circle was too wide, and the base didn't go down far enough. But you'll notice, like, even Isham will do this too, where she'll, like, flip it and then, like, adjust things. That's just how art goes, so. Don't feel like, if you, flip and then, like, things aren't looking good and stuff, and you're like, ah, panic! Nope. It's part of how you draw. And you just keep fixing things and editing things until you're happy with it. Like, being able to recognize, like, oh, this is too short or too fat or something is off here is you learning. So don't get frustrated or upset by it. That is just how the art process works. All part of the journey. Oh, and save check, thank you. Ears are too low, too. Being able to recognize and move and change things is progress. There we go, it's much better. Bottom half of my face is still slanted from having my original line off a little bit. Again, because my original line was slanted and off and not centered, so I didn't take time to center it, it means that now I'm gonna have to spend more time trying to fix up and adjust things, right? In the end. It's not bad. Not bad. We'll take it from there. All right, let's also finish up this progress that I was working on. Because technically where we left off was doing some body figure drawing practice. So let's work on finishing up this piece that I started. Is it alright to feel a little annoyed that drawing boxes is a problem? Absolutely. It's like, when I'm practicing, I'm like, how can something so simple be so hard? That's how I feel. That's my struggle while practicing. Oh, get a good stretch in. Don't forget to stand up and stretch too. It's an important part of drawing. All right, I'm gonna go turn on my light. Hold on. It's getting dark. Big stretch. I can't stretch till my boxes look right. But what if the stretch is what you need to make the boxes look right, Blaze? All right, so let me finish my boxes. I think I was trying to figure out how much of this bottom box you actually see. Is what I was trying to figure out. Because I think you see the bottom of the box. Yeah, it makes sense because she's lifting up her leg. So I think here you see the bottom box more. And remember, it takes a while. Didn't think you can use the stretch tool to make boxes look right. I see what you did there, Turtle. Yeah, so like really try to see where things connect, like in 3D. So like the middle of that spine gonna connect into the middle of that box, right? Same thing with here. It's actually, I think, standing pretty straight. See, I'm so conflicted on whether this box shape, her hips might point down. Like, I think I have this box in the wrong place. See, again, this is where I'm like, I'm not good at this either. I think. We'll leave it there for now. Draw our wrist circle, elbow circles. little tentacle flipper. So like, again, see when I'm drawing these circles, I'm also drawing them in the perspectives that they are too. So like, I'm not just drawing a straight circle. Like, I think this will help you too, Blaze. I'm not just drawing a circle, right, for the joints. I'm thinking about it as like a piece of paper and how, where like the top and the bottom of that paper is. Like, so for this elbow, I didn't just draw it as a circle. I thought of it as the top of the cylinder, and that might help you too, right? So like it's going to be more squished this way because I'm thinking of it as like a piece of paper or a disc, right? And that's like the middle of it. And then for this one, it's like a different piece of circle, like instead of just drawing a circle, it's more wide here. So I guess this one is closer to just being a circle, right? Actually, technically, I think it is actually a little bit more. So if I think of that in the middle. And then this one, the wrist is very small. And again, the middle is like here, right? And then if these were connected. This one is a little bit different because the direction of it. So then when I go to draw the tubes, right? Technically, this is now like dotted, right? Because that's the back of the tube. And that you would see both sides of. So this gets hidden. Ta-da! Now you have a tube. Hopefully that helped a little bit in the visualization process. And then again, connecting that to make another tube. So again, you can draw as a circle, or you can draw it as kind of like the bottom of the tube again. What the heck just happened there with my pen? It's our one butterfly. The other leg there. And draw another ankle circle. Made note of that in my boxes. Just need to remember to write down somewhere better where I can find it. think maybe starting with discs at this stage might be more helpful for beginners than a circle. I think it might be easier to visualize the disc. A disc into the tube. Bigger. A lot of people draw a shoe as this kind of triangle wedge shape too. Again, it's all about breaking things down to more simple shapes. Not perfect here, but I'll kind of... My perspective on this is real bad, but you get the idea. We're not worrying about hands and feet right now either. There is box version. Let's add our cylinders. So now I'm going to just use a blue pen and go over top. Make note when you do any typos today. It's fine, you got a lot on your brain right now. It's part of the learning. Again, this study too is to, like, why we are doing this, or these shapes and circles, is more about trying to learn how the body is kind of like put together in a way, more than like trying to make it look good, right? So like when you're drawing, your bodies and stuff. Like when we pull this away, it's not gonna look like a good drawn body. But it is getting you used to all the different parts and pieces and how those pieces like connect to each other and relate to one another and stuff. Like tracing a body like this is not going to give you like a good looking piece of art in the end. But it teaches you the relationships between the body parts. And gets you used to like, oh, things are about this long or this length. Gets you used to seeing them in different poses, positions. And it'll also help you see things in 3D and practice seeing things in 3D. And also, hello, Seven. And also it'll help you later on as well when it comes to lighting. Because you'll be able to see the art in a 3-dimensional way. For when you apply lighting, you'll see where those lighting spots should go, basically. Side note, still art. When I was looking for figures for poses, I stumbled across an image about a way of breaking a body down into simple shapes and was curious to get your thoughts on it, if that's all right real quick. Of course, Blaze, of course. And a hydrant posture, stand and stretch. Thank you, Seven. Finished off my water. And we'll give a little bit of a stand and a stretch. Standing up. Do a little wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Also 7 with a... Nya, 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 nya. Got those purrs in. Cool. Like that. And like, see, like for drawing the back of the rib cage, I'm like using that box as kind of a reference, right? Posted in Discord, no worries. Let's save this and also put it aside. Hold on. Just so that we have it. See, I think underneath blocking. Just lower the opacity instead. There we go. So it's basically, by doing multiple iterations like this too, you're just slowly adding more information on top too, which is like how sketching works as well. So by doing like the box and then adding the smooth lines, you're starting by, like, this step should be like super quick, right? Like just that's like your first sketch. Really simple blocks and shapes. And then over top you do another layer, you do another sketch on top of your sketch, right? And then you start adding in more information. You make those tubes and everything, and that takes even a little bit longer than this step, right? And then you can go through and you can even like add another sketch on top. So it teaches you kind of also the sketching process, I think, by doing these like draw overs. All right, let's see what Blaze has here for us. Simple shapes of the female torso. An upside down heart for the breasts. You can make this figure smaller to suit your figure. 2 small circles for the shoulders. Diamond for torso. You can make this bigger or smaller to suit your figure. And 2 medium circles for the hips. Yeah, for sure. Everybody kind of also does things a little bit different. Here, this is what Blaze showed. So this is for like a female torso specifically. I've never seen it described as this way before. And I feel like you could do this, but I feel like by skipping the step of adding that chest, you might, like, you want to add like the rib cage, right? Sorry, it's a horribly drawn box, but you get the idea. You want to draw that rib cage first, because like we're drawing humans first, specifically. We want to be able to draw both male and female figures. So everybody has a rib cage to start. Hello, Mahamera, welcome in. Everybody has a rib cage, so that's why a lot will start with just the box and the rib cage. If you just automatically go to drawing this upside down heart for like a breast shape, I think you're going to run into, like, even looking at this example that they've given, like the boobs are very not in the right position for the chest almost. So that's why, like, I think like drawing maybe, I don't know, like the hearts. People always say like drawing 2 water balloons is another good way for drawing breasts. But yeah, like I feel this is even off a little bit. So I feel like immediately skipping to just drawing the breasts, you're going to run into proportional problems. So here, like in this example too, like their shoulders and hips are not lining up as well. And I think that's because they put this heart here, and they're just putting these circles on top. So then it's made their hips like very wide and the top half of their portion very small. Here to here, right? And you can have figures that are more pear-shaped, but the fact that they have like there isn't enough space here in the collarbone, and it's making this heart shape look awkward. I don't know how I feel about this heart shape thing. I think it would be better to start again with like your box shape, and getting a torso more roughly blocked out first, you know? And then adding like your hips and stuff, you know? I know like there's another thing where you start with these boxes, and then once you get used to the boxes, you start drawing what's called the beanbag. I think Proco has a good video about the beanbag too. Let me see if I can find that. Proco art bean. The Robo Bean! This is a good one. This is a good video to watch. It's an old one, but it's a good one. So Proco talks about drawing human body structures, and they start... Oh, that was a good picture. Where was that? Go back. You should just watch this video. It's a great video of explaining this kind of stuff. Actually, you know what? Heck it. We got 10 minutes. Let's watch the Proco video. Because I think that'll be valuable for what we're talking about right now. This has been LiLi's TED Talk about bosoms. Thank you for listening. Let's see if I can switch my screen over so that you guys can see.
We'll add structure to the...
I'm gonna pause that. Paste that.
In this episode...
Pause. Go here. All right. Can you see it? Can you see it? No, you cannot. Where did it go? Where did it go, LiLi? Why does it say that it's there, but it's not there? LiLi. Is it this one? Huh? LiLi, where is it? I think because Wardo's not updating. There it is. Robo Bean. Why are you not showing? Oh, maybe it's because I don't have it up?
Add structure.
No. Why are you not showing, game? Ba-do, 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 ba-do. I want to watch this. What if I show chat? Then what happens, huh? Nope, you don't want to show chat either. Window. Put in Robo Bean. Please! Hold on a second. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna switch my screens for a moment. Why is it not working? Also, yes, I believe they're fake subs. Well, they might be working because Mango's is right. I think some of them are broken and some of them are right. Why is it not working? Thought maybe if I restarted it, it would work. Try again. Try again.
In the
Look here. Why is it not working? I just want to watch the video. Okay, restart the tab. Enable. It worked! Restarting the tab worked. Okay. Are you guys ready? We're gonna watch the
in
bean.
this episode, we'll add structure
So this
to
is,
the bean to
Proco?
create the Robo Bean.
The Robo Bean. Can you guys hear it okay? Proco has really good art tutorials. I would highly
If you haven't
recommend
seen
them.
the bean, structure, or landmarks videos, you might be a little confused with some of the things in this video.
Oh.
Because we'll be taking the bean and adding structure
Oh, I
to it
wanted the
based
other
on
one.
the landmarks.
I
So,
wanted the
click to
landmark
watch.
one. It might be this one. I want the landmark tutorial. Why is it frozen? There we go. This video may be inappropriate for some users. I think there might be nudity.
There are three major masses
I'm
connected by
guessing.
the spine. The head, the rib cage, and the pelvis.
Be
Today
warned.
we're going to take a look at the two that make up the torso and the way they move.
Seems good in the long run. Good. There could be artistic nudity. Maybe I should have my hand on the be right back
Hey
button
guys,
just
you're
in
watching
case.
Proco. So, what is the bean?
I don't think there'll be
the
anything
torso
bad.
could initially be thought of as a bean.
Wait.
No, not that bean. No, not that one either. That's the same bean. This one. This is the one I'm talking about. We have two forms, one for the rib cage and another for the hips. You can even just imagine a sock with two balls in it. Whatever analogy you want to use. Basically, we have two hard
The bean.
forms with a softer skin around them. The balls can twist, tilt, and turn. The cloth of the sock will stretch pinch, or twist accordingly, which represents the way the skin would react to the same motion on a human body.
It's like the same as having
To
like
be more
right, your
specific
spine
about
and your
what these
gut.
ovals actually represent, here's how I think of it. The ribcage isn't a perfect oval. The curve stops at around the 10th rib and then swings back up to the sternum. But to simplify it, I'll continue the curves of the sides and use an oval. The oval of the hips actually includes the area above the hips. It continues up the oblique and meets the top oval at the thin part of the waist. As a result, the two ovals will overlap. Why practice the bean?
The concept I'll be talking about today is a very simplified approach. It obviously doesn't get you a realistic figure drawing, but it's the concepts behind it that we're learning.
So this is again
Then
like what
once
I
we
was talking
understand
about.
those
It's like
concepts, we can apply
it's not
them
about
to
drawing like a
realistic,
nice
more
looking
complex
bean,
approach.
but
Sometimes
it's about
what I have my
applying
students
that.
do
Oh,
in
there's
my
the
figure drawing
artistic nudity.
process is a 20-minute session of 30 second
But yeah, it's
poses
like about
just
like
doing the bean.
applying
I tell them they're not drawing
that
a person.
to
Don't think
the
of this as a figure drawing. Instead, it's an analogy for the body. These are little
analogy.
notes that
there you
can
go,
be
like just what he
later
said.
on
The
in a
analogy
longer
of it,
figure
right?
drawing. It's the form of the torso represented in the simplest way. The reason we do this is to eliminate all details and not get distracted by contours or smaller forms. We do it to isolate what's important in capturing the motion and mass of the torso.
So like
How to practice the bean.
the bean method is like really
Take
good. I
poses
think,
and draw
personally.
the equivalent bean at its extreme. Take note of that last part. You're drawing an extreme version of the pose. So if there's a
So
subtle
this
twist,
goes more
make that
to
twist even twistier.
gesture
A lean to
drawing
the
as
right.
well. I'm like really bad at gesture drawing, but yeah, like taking those curves and exaggerating it, but just keeping it to like two simple circles. It's kind of the same way as like drawing the box, right? So if you're struggling with the box too, you could always try doing these circles for the bean method as well. You might
Lean it
find
further.
maybe
The
drawing the
process of
circles
exaggerating
and
these elements
exaggerating
creates
those lines and stuff like
habit
that
of actually
might help
observing
more.
each element. The things we look for to identify the bean
Are tilt
See,
side
like
to
what
side.
also drawing these bean drawings like these, as opposed to the boxes, by drawing the bean, you'll automatically like doing these curves and shapes, you'll keep your artwork more fluid as compared to like when we have like our pieces here, right? These poses are very, very static, right? Whereas if we were to draw more of the bean for this model, right? So if we were to draw more of keeping in mind that bean shape, right? So kind of draw your circles of your bean to start. And then drawing a second. So we have the upper torso is like this. Kind of got our exaggeration. So I'm just gonna kind of exaggerate this back part coming down. Kind of idea. So there's kind of like our two circles, right? So the benefit of doing it like this is gonna be a lot more fluid than drawing those boxes, right? And because this will make you feel very stiff, and it's gonna make your drawings stiff as well, right? So that's where like the bean method over the boxes can be helpful. Like they both, you know, are good in their own things, but having fluidity and keeping your pen moving is also very, very valid in learning. And that is a skill to learn just as much as like putting boxes into perspective too. So they just kind of like teach different things. But ultimately, if you can draw like a really good bean method and draw nice gestured beans, then you'll have like better sketching. So let me just go back to that now. Hopefully that makes sense.
Process of
Why does it keep getting rid of it? I have to restart it again.
There.
It's just a 10-minute video and I wanted to watch it. There we go. Oh, go back.
A lean to the right, lean it further.
The process of exaggerating these elements creates a habit of actually observing each element. The things we look for to
And
identify
the exaggerations will
are
also like make your art
tilt
look better
side
in the
to
end
side,
too.
lean forward and backward, twisting of the spine, and foreshortening. Let's start with a tilt from side to side. When there's a tilt or curvature of the spine towards one side, there will always be a compressed side and a stretched side. As these points move closer to each other, everything between them bunches up. You'll see wrinkles going across the torso. On the other side, these points move further away from each other, stretching everything between them. I'll always try to emphasize the stretching here and play down any kind of muscular bumps that would take away from the stretching
Yeah,
effect.
like at this point too, like with
Here's
the
a
bean,
pose with a
you're not
subtle
like when you're doing
Find
these
the
like
angle of the rib cage,
life
angle
models
of
and
the
stuff like
hips,
that. It's
considering
not
also the
about drawing
position
all the
relative to the
individual
rib
parts
cage.
and pieces,
It's
but
a common
instead
mistake
trying
to
to
always put
relate
the
the
two forms one on top
motion
of the
and
Observe
relationships
the angle
between
from
the
the
two.
top of the rib cage to the bottom of the hips. Adding an action line will also help to identify this relationship. A center line will emphasize the C-curve of this pose and show that it's slightly facing towards the left.
I'm
since
really
the
bad
center
at
is
gesture drawing, so
closer
I need to
the
do
left
more
edge
of this
the
kind of
form.
stuff for sure.
The second action is leaning forward or backward. It has pretty much the same effect of a tilt. The side where the points are compressing will get the pinch, and the opposite side will get the stretch.
Hello, Waystation! Welcome
The
in!
only difference is that
Hope you're
now the
doing well.
center line is on the
We're
stretching
just finishing
or
up
pinching
some
side.
study stuff.
If the person leans towards
We're
us,
talking
there
about
will be a crease on
kind
the
of
front
gesture
plane.
drawing and the bean
And the
method.
center line itself also has a pinch. This sharp corner creates the tension in the front plane. On the
I
back,
think when he
show
talked
the
about
stretching
like
gesture line.
trying to envision two tennis balls in a
When the
sock,
person
or
leans
even like
back
using
away
a
from us, it's a bit trickier to
two tennis
indicate
balls
with
in a
bean.
sock to practice this
This
is
looks
also
too
really
similar
helpful.
to a tilt. It's hard to show this because the
And
pinch
just
is
getting
back
used to
there.
like drawing those curves
hidden from
and
The only way to
pulls
show
and
that the
stretching and
forms are
stuff.
going away from us is with some cross contour lines, which indicate foreshortening, similar to these cylinders. Twisting the spine. All right, the twist. I love
Just
doing
starting
the
to try to
twist.
figure out torso anatomy and saw your channel for
During
sure.
a twisting motion, the skin will be pulled from one side of the form to the other. Let's look at what happens to this towel when I twist it. The string represents the center line.
Here, I'll
the
send
top,
this
the
is the
plane
video we're
twists
watching
this
too.
way,
I think
and at the
Proco
bottom, the other
does a
way.
really good job
On this side,
with
the
some
line
beginner
will overlap
tutorials.
from the top. On the other side, they overlap from the bottom. Things are being pulled across the form to these corners. Sometimes it's confusing to figure out which side.
Yeah, and like you could look at this line, like thinking of this line as like the spine running almost like through your body too, right? And being able to see through like the flesh and stuff to that spine curving and stuff like that is really
Will overlap.
important.
Which one's going to be in front and which one's behind? Basically, the two corners that are closer
My
to
dogs
us
won't like me stealing
will
their
have the
tennis balls
lines
for
that
this.
overlap
They're like, we
the
didn't sign
corners
up for
further
this.
from us. Makes sense because
Yeah, and then I think they mostly just talk about more the bean. Um, I think they like tell you to do the bean first before this one.
So click to watch those now.
And landmarks. Oh, so there's the 3. Yeah, they do like a course, I believe, and it's like the bean, structure, and landmarks. So you watch those 3, and then you eventually get into this robo bean method, right? I really like Proco's videos for these structures and learning about the torso a lot. So this is the robo bean. So you can go find those like ones that they mentioned here. Find these 3 videos and go through and watch all of them. They'll be really helpful to you, especially if you're just starting out as well. I really loved these videos when I started learning for digital art. I went through these and they helped me quite a bit. Like seeing again this box bean type thing, you're getting closer to kind of a body, but you're keeping in those exaggerations and stuff, which is huge. Huge. Yeah, and again, like drawing the torso and pelvis as like 2 boxes, but because we kind of kept with the bean method in this one, these boxes are still in perspective well, but you'll notice that they're curved, and that curving kind of keeps it from feeling too stiff, like compared to like what I had, right? You'll notice like these boxes are curved and stretched really well compared to mine that I just quickly drew. Right? So like these, like this one, right, is very boxy, right? Whereas like they kept the kind of like the roundness of the bean and kind of, again, I'm gonna do this awful because I'm just like doing this really quickly, but they kind of kept the roundy boxiness, and it gave more what's the word I'm looking for? It gives more like feeling. Like it's very poorly done because I'm not very good at it either. But it definitely like it keeps that line of action and fluid feeling, whereas this one feels much more rigid, right? This one feels more natural. So that is kind of the bean is a great way of practicing getting more fluid at your sketches and exaggerating parts and stuff with keeping the structure of what you're doing. So yeah, I really recommend those videos by Proco. They are very good when you're first starting out. In my opinion, I liked them. Again, everybody likes different tutorials by different people. Yeah, it's more rounding than bending and exaggerating. I think that's the biggest thing, is the exaggeration part of things. Because it goes back to, I think we were talking about gesture drawing even last episode. Gesture drawing, right? In like animation and drawing the exaggeration. How do I find? What did we find last time? It was such a good example. I wish I could figure it out again. But essentially, you know, these things, like these gesture drawings, right? Are they perfect, like, anatomy-wise and, like, scaling? Absolutely not. But you get the feeling a lot more out of these gesture drawings, and they invoke a lot of like emotion into your art, right? Which is a very important thing because, like, you know, when we are, as artists, when we are drawing art, you want to invoke feelings into the person that's looking at it, right? If something is like too perfect or structurized, right, it's going to feel stiff and kind of turn us away from it, because you really want to connect with the art that you're seeing, right? And I mean, that's kind of like, especially if you're doing art for not just yourself, but like if you're doing art for like a career or to attract like social media likes or something like that, it's really, at the end of the day, you're wanting to, like, in order to get that like or viewer or whatever it is that you're looking for, it's about connecting with that person on the other side of the screen with your art. So invoking some kind of human emotion or feeling is what's going to get you that like or click or whatever it is, right? So that's why gesture drawing can be very, very important. But yeah. Hopefully that helped a little bit. We kind of did just like a bunch of rough practice today. It was just a lot of practicing, really, is what we had today. So I'll figure out, here, let me do a quick look to see what next week's lesson is going to be. So we'll be continuing on next week. Let me see what they have. I was curious about what you thought about it. Sorry to sidetrack. No, this is good. This is all good, Blaze. Is this Pup the LiLi? Hello, Oliver. Welcome in. No, this is, I love you asking questions, Blaze, because look, if you have the question, other people have the question. And even for me, like, going through and explaining and doing these side tangents and everything helps me learn as well, too. So I appreciate it, too. Like, again, the bean, I'm like, oh, I should go back and practice beans again. Like, you're never done. You're never done practicing. That's the beauty of art. It never ends. You're always going back and re-watching tutorials and re-editing and redrawing. It never stops. What you talking about? We're doing some art study at the moment. I didn't end up using this piece. This is by Art Gun. I know this piece. Here, I'll post it in our study because I think it's really handy to have for different head angles. Need to catch up on those art VODs. Yeah, I'm glad they help. Let's see what we're doing next week then. So we are on chapter 3, body. So we had body proportions, I think is the one we just did, right? Let me double check. Yes, so that's what we did last week. So next week is, I believe, body in anime style. I don't know if we've done this one. Did we do this one? Oh, maybe we did do this one. I think that was the one we just did, was body in anime style, right? Yes, so drawing the squares and everything, right? So this is the last lesson we just did. So you measure the various angles so you get a sketch of the overall size and shape of the body. In my case, I like to keep it simple and just draw angles of the shoulders, pelvis, and feet. Yeah, so that's, again, drawing your landmarks, right? You could draw, like, the center of gravity. Drawing the circles. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the lesson we just did. Let's close these. So next week, that was last week's lesson. So then that means we are on hands. Next week we're drawing hands, apparently. Ta-da! A little sneak peek of some of the homework lessons for next week. So yeah, next week we'll be starting hands, it looks like. So the chapters for the body are hands, feet, clothing, and natural poses. Oh gosh, clothing. Clothing is a whole thing. That one's gonna be a long one. Strap in for that one. Hands are also annoying too, hands and feet. Understand why they have like a whole piece dedicated to it. Alright. Cool. So, I guess, yeah, practice is gonna be just, I would say just keep reviewing, like, your heads and stuff like that is always a good thing to just go back and touch on, especially if you were like me and didn't get lots of practice in and you've forgotten a lot of things, you should go back and touch up on it because I've forgotten everything. So it's good to have that. And, we're gonna be staring at our hands a lot, possibly. As an artist, you will find that you will use yourself as reference constantly. The other thing is also when you're drawing emotions, you'll find yourself making the same emotions sometimes. It's very common. Very common art thing. It's like if you're drawing and the character's sticking out their tongue and then you're like, eh, and you stick out your tongue. Same thing with hands. I'm trying to draw a hand and then I'm like trying to put my hand in the position. A lot of times I'll often, if I'm having difficulties drawing a hand too, either find a reference. If you can find a reference that is the right angle, if you can't find the same reference, a lot of time I'll take like my phone and just take a picture of my hand. It's a very, very valid way of doing things. But yeah, let's see. Again, if you are new, thank you, Gigi. Put that playlist in there too. So if you're watching this for the first time, we've been going through and doing kind of this Coloso course. Like, I've been going through and doing this Coloso course, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stream my process of going through it. So I've been kind of teaching little tips here and there on the streams, so you can find the other previous VODs there. And I'm gonna open up Twitch so you can find somebody to raid. Oh, Con is doing art. Julie is doing art. This person's doing art. Different person. I'm gonna be starting. Oh, and sorry, I read that. Good, I'm caught up. I want to see this person. They were like on my recommended. Doing some doodles. Sure, we'll go give this person some love. They are a cute little skeleton PNG tuber. We'll go give this new artist some love. Also Blaze with a... Whoop! There we go. Purrs. Loud purrs. Let's turn that back down. Nya nya, nya nya. Of course. And we'll just do like a, also like, go, Perudo. We'll just do a regular Foxfire raid today since, I don't know this person at all. So we're gonna be relatively normal Foxfires, okay? Normal, but they have really nice line art piece that they're working on right now. It's very pretty. So we'll go give them some love. And as for me, today is Tuesday, so tomorrow in the Discord we are watching Yuru Camp episodes 10, 11, 12 this week, I believe. I forgot to post my schedule. I just realized. Oops. But yeah, we're going to be watching 10, 11, 12 this week. And then on Thursday, we're going to be playing some League of Legends Swarm, which is the new game mode. And I'm going to have DM and Leitzu join me as well. So the three of us are going to take on the Swarm game mode in League of Legends. It's going to be fun. And then, yeah, on Sunday, I believe we're going to play some more Dave the Diver as well. And Aqua, right? I asked Aqua. I said, I don't want to exclude you at all. But I haven't got a response back. Not surprising. Not surprising in the least. But yeah, if you're new here, check out my Discord and all my other socials, of course, are there. Thank you for those link pin. I can't talk right now. I'm falling asleep, clearly. Thank you again. When is League? Thursday night. Thursday night, Luna. We're going to play some League of Legends Swarm. It's the new PvE mode. So Wednesday is watching anime in the Discord. Thursday is the next stream. We're going to be playing some League of Legends. So same time, 6 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, like I said, I have Lezu joining me for an hour and then DM joining me as well too. I don't know if DM will be able to play very long either because I know DM is also sick right now, so I don't want to push her to stay around for too long. But we'll have some guests at least at the beginning. So I've been lurking, but hello, Clara. It's live. It's live tomorrow. Tomorrow is the patch. I don't know what time, but tomorrow is the patch. So Swarm goes live tomorrow. All right, let's get this raid up. We'll go give some love to this artist. They're doing beautiful work, some line work. Cheer them on in the line art struggle. There it is. So yeah, get your Foxfire raid command, and we'll go give Schwa some Foxfire lovin'. Again, thank you for joining me. Continue your art journeys. You're all doing amazing. Good practice. Keep it up. I love to see it in the Discord. And I'll see you next Tuesday for some more art. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Where's my buttons? Bye-bye. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone it is for you. I hope it's a good one. If you are off to bed, then sweet dreams. Otherwise, let's give Schwa some Foxfire raid lovin'. Bye-bye.